Hello, this is I Go Travel with Don Barnett. If you're just sitting around the old campfire with not much to do, let's play a little game. I'll show you some pictures and you tell me, you guess where they're at. We'll call the game Where in the World is such and such place. I'll show you a picture and if you get it right off the bat, you get to score 5 points for yourself. Now, if you need a little bit of help and I have to show you a second or third picture and maybe a few hints and clues, the most you can get out of that is 3 points. Or if you still have no idea at all, well, then you have to give yourself 0. So it's either 5, 3, or 0. And oh, by the way, you need to get a paper and a pencil. Like I said, you just need a piece of paper, numbers 1 to 10 on it, and you can then write your score each time you see the photos that I'll show you. And your score will either be a 5, a 3, or a 0, like it says on the right-hand side. So go and get a paper and put down numbers 1 to 10, and I'll show you the first photo in a minute. For 5 points, where in the world is this place? It is a capital city. You can name the building or the city. For 5 points before we go to the next picture, which would only then be worth 3 points. We're on the second photo, so the maximum you can give yourself is 3 points on this question. The far side there is the province of Quebec. I can give you another clue. I'm taking the photo from this side of the river, which is on the Ontario side. And the name of that river, here's another clue. The name of that river is the Ottawa River. So again, the question is, where in the world, what is this city named? Any of these answers printed here in this picture is good enough for 5 points if you got any of them on the first photo. But if you needed the second photo, then you're looking at giving yourself just 3 points. It's Ottawa, of course. Sometimes they call the building itself the Center Block or the Peace Tower, as you can see. But anything related to these is good enough for your points. All right, that wasn't too bad, was it? Let's now go to the second picture, and I can tell you that it is a picture of the biggest waterfall in Canada. Where in the world is this waterfall located? There are 2 waterfalls here in this giant waterfall. One is called the Canadian Falls or the Horseshoe Falls. Again, we're looking for the name of the place or the name of the city. The second waterfall, besides the Canadian or Horseshoe Falls, this falls is called the American Falls. They're both right together in the same place. But what is the name of the place where these big waterfalls occur? This is good for 3 points now because we're on to the second photograph. Yes, here it is, Niagara Falls, where even the honeymooners love to go. Record your points and let's go on to the next question. Okay, how is your score doing? In this next picture, we're talking about what part of Canada is this. You can name the mountains or the lake or there's even a glacier there, I think. And let's take a look at it. This is another big tourist area. And remember, 5 points if you get it on this picture. Otherwise, we're going to maximum of 3 points. I'll show you another picture of the similar area. This is in the same general area, a big tourist area. That's a glacier up there in the mountains in the background. So we're looking at what part of this country? Okay, if you said anything like the Rocky Mountains, Banff or Jasper National Parks, that would be okay. Again, we're looking for a general area, Rocky Mountains. This picture right here I showed you at first is looking out the window of the Lake Louise Hotel. And that's Lake Louise there and the Lake Louise Glacier in the background, a beautiful spot. Okay, give yourself either 5, 3, or 0. and let's move on. The first three pictures that we've looked at were kind of warm-up things. Now I'm going to show you some pictures that are actually in some of the travelogues that we've made, and we've made about 20 or 30 of them. Okay, so let's go to this next one. You'll recognize me in it probably. Let's take a look. Where in the world is this place? Like I said in this travelogue, if you've seen it, this ain't my first rodeo. I hope you got your 5 points on that first photo, but here's more clues. More pictures, people on the streets. It's a holiday place. There's only one place in the world like this, and of course it's Las Vegas. So I hope you gave yourself your 5 points on the first picture, or 3 if you needed the second and third picture, or maybe a 0 if you just didn't know about this place. If you haven't seen the travelogue on the next picture, it's going to be really difficult to get more than a 0 on it. But on some of these that you haven't got an idea about, you might be interested in them and go look at one of those travelogues. These pieces of art are in a city that is probably second only to New York in terms of high-end art quality stuff in the United States. And it's okay to guess what the city or where the city might be. Okay, let's for 5 points. Otherwise, we're looking at a 3-point maximum or a 0. If you have seen this travelogue on these deer statues, you'll remember that I gave you a chance in that travelogue to guess the value of these various pieces of art. And then I told you what the value actually was. This is another example of artwork. Remember now, we're looking at maximum of 3 points if you get the city at this point in time. Okay, let's take a look at the name of the city. We're in Santa Fe, New Mexico. A great place to see great art. Okay, we did a travelogue on this, and you get a chance to guess at the value of some of the other high-end art pieces if you look at this travelogue. These next pictures are from a travelogue or two that we made, and it's about a very unique, one-of-a-kind military battalion. Where in the world would you see this kind of a goat? Now, for 5 points, you can name the area, or you can name the military battalion that this goat is associated with. This second picture is in the same area that we are talking about. We're into the maximum 3 points for the right answer here. You can talk about the province or the city where we're talking about here for 3 points. Here is your answer. We're talking about Quebec City, and more specifically, we're talking about the famous Quebec military regiment called the Vendus. And this is a picture from our slide in that travelogue. My wife got me to stick my head out the lower hole, and I still don't know why. Okay, let's go to the next question. This is another one where you have pretty well have had to have seen the travelogue to get it. The name of the place, of the town, it's a small town, and it's south of Las Vegas in the state of Arizona. You'll get your 5 points if you've been to this small town. Otherwise, it'll be pretty difficult, but this is the girl whose family was massacred in a wagon train massacre at one time, and she became quite a celebrity with her tattoos. There's a real story here, and we go into that story in the travelogue. Okay, let's take a look at another clue if you need one. If you know anything about this town, you'll know that the big tourist attraction are the burros or donkeys in the town, left over from the old mining days. It's an old mining town, and the tourists love to come and Look at the burros and feed them carrots. But as much as they love to do that, the burros love to eat the carrots even more than the tourists love to feed the burros. Okay, that's the second clue. We're getting ready to give you the answer. Okay, the town is Oatman, named after this Oatman girl, and the town is just south of Las Vegas a ways. Where in the world would this place be with the big high tower they call the Space Needle? Okay, for 5 points if you get it on this photo. Otherwise, let's look at some 3-point photos. Here's another clue. This city is the headquarters of the Starbucks Coffee Corporation. We are down to the 3-point question now. If you can get this city, the city is on the western coast of the United States. There is lots to see in the port of Seattle in the state of Washington. I can only tell you that on the next pictures, we are going back to Canada. This is along a famous bicycle trail. And notice that the rest stop here is in the shape of a train. And the name of the trail is named after the train, and there's a big resort up there. Okay, for 5 points, what do you say? Okay, this is a maximum 3-point question, but we're in a big resort in eastern Canada, a beautiful place, and my friend there is sitting in the big Adirondack chair at the top of the mountain. If you thought of any of these places, the Little Train of the North was the bicycle trail. It's north of Montreal. It's in the province of Quebec. Mount Tremblant, big resort ski area, the biggest in eastern Canada. And it's in the middle of the Laurentian Mountains. I made a number of travelogues in this area, and it is nice and warm and sunny. This place could perhaps be a lot of places in the world, but which travelogue area were we talking about? Look up at the horizon there. That might give you a little bit of help for 5 points. Now for a maximum of 3 points, we'll give you another clue. It's a big area for cruise ships to come in. Here's another clue. This area is also has a big festive carnival that they put on every year. Where in the world would this place be? For 5 points, you had to think or say Cozumel, the island off the Mexican coast. 3 points only if you said the Mayan Riviera or Mexico or the Caribbean. Those are all 3-pointers, but again, for 5 points, you needed to identify the island Cozumel. Okay, those are the 10 questions. Add up your total and see how you did. A little bit of fun. If you didn't do too well on some, that means you may not have seen those travelogues. So if some of the travelogues interest you, you can find them on the website. Okay, until next time, this is I Go Travel with Don Barnett. Adios.